You are watching ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. My name is Dave Vincent here in beautiful Tucson, Arizona. It's the men's senior 40-plus finals. Nadi Alvarado going up against Marcos Chavez. They both live in Southern California. They're not sparring partners locally, but they do know each other's games. They're both about the same age. Nadi 41, Marcos 40. Nadi in the white shirt, Marcos wearing the yellow jersey, and there's a first quick point for Alvarado. It's a one-game match to 25, win by 2. Halftime 15. Traditional scoring, not rally.
Point.
And you would say that Nadi Alvarado would be the freshest of the two, even though he's the eldest of the two.
2-0.
As he has only played about 2 matches in this tournament, and Marcos Chavez has played a total of 7 already, with all the playoffs and the main bracket invites and all that stuff.
Set out.
And there's the first side out. Marcos Chavez.
0 serves 2.
Who represents the LAAC, Los Angeles Athletic Club, and sponsored by Owen Gloves. Nadi Alvarado, sponsored by Simple Green, as well as Owen.
2 serves 0.
There's a laser off the back wall from Alvarado. You remember last year was the first time Marcos ever defeated Nadi in tournament play in Houston, and Marcos said, this is a lifetime achievement. I've been trying to get this guy for years. Now you see Alvarado's taking this very serious.
Point.
This year, Marcos Chavez and partner Vic Perez won the U.S. Open doubles. Nadi Alvarado a couple years earlier won that with Tate Severa.
Set out.
Both of these guys shedding their doubles partners and coming out here and trying the singles. And this is a matchup that you would see in the main pro bracket, and that's what we have for a 40 finals.
Hold it, hold it. Zero serves 4.
Our referee is Luis Cordova from Mexico, and there's a back wall kill shot. Finally a point, I should say, for Marcos Chavez here.
1 serves 4. Set out. Four serves 1. Over, hold it.
When talking to Nadi Alvarado last night, we were talking about referees, and he said that Luis Cordova is one of the best. And as fate has it, Cordova is up there reffing this match. And that ball was 2 bounces. Marcos immediately said no, and Nadi played it out anyway.
5 serves 1. Point.
I want to welcome back in Dave Fink.
6 serves 1.
Linda has it, I think.
Hold it.
questionable hinder call there from our referee. I think it probably should have been called an avoidable as Marcos crossed right in front of a big setup for Nadi, and Nadi knew it. And a great shot, but we will have Tracy Davis on the wireless microphone. She'll be doing our sideline reporting as our broadcast team will be setting her up with that. David, you know, I stepped in and watched Marcos just blatantly avoidable Nadi, and it's kind of funny when you're watching Marcos and it's, haha, that's what he does, but when you're in the court, you don't like it.
No.
At all. It's not funny.
Well, Marcos, he looks back and has that smile on his face, and he kind of lures you into making a no call. But as someone that's playing him, I look at him and say, well, what are you laughing at?
Yeah.
I'm not happy about this.
Well, one of the guys he played in the playoffs yesterday, I won't name names, but was beating Marcos, and Marcos was saying out loud, this guy is 5 levels beneath you. Smiling, though, while saying it. And that's a double fault.
That's a horrible double fault there. The easiest serve you can get into play, and you can't get it into play. See if Alvarado can capitalize here. Boy, Nadi's just cranking on this ball here.
You know, Dave, I heard Nadi talking to you just briefly yesterday. I caught the end of the conversation, but sounds like he has left the door open for playing in Race for 8 later this season. He said he didn't feel like he was ready in this event.
He said if he's in the top 8 by Houston, still by Houston after this tournament, he will take the Houston invite.
He is.
Yeah, that's what he said. I won't play in the 40s in Houston. I will play.
Yeah.
Marcos, conversely, said that he would probably play in the 40s in Houston. So.
Well, Marcos probably will not be invited.
Right, correct. So he probably would take that 40 invite. He said, you know, talking to Marcos, not getting off the subject with Nadi's plans, but Marcos said something interesting. You remember when he was in his 20s and he was great, and then he got into his 30s and was still good, and then he took some time off, didn't travel. He said that he got out of it and was raising his family, and then he went to one of our tournaments in Houston. He said, this is what got me back into playing handball. You convinced me to fly out there. I finally did it, and it just was great. We're all tied at 6 here.
6 or 6.
Remember, Chavez was down 2-6. Yeah, I've had some good private conversations with both of these dudes. Last night, Nadi Alvarado and I stayed up until after midnight talking handball.
Thanks for the invite.
Well, when it's dark out, we don't invite you anywhere. That's kind of the thing around the neighborhood.
Well, I've got 2 babies and 2 women in my house, so you can imagine the dishes and cleaning that I came home to. Yeah, I think you can understand.
Now
that.
I feel bad for not inviting you because I sympathize.
Yeah.
It's a lot of babies, and that's a lot of women to have in one room.
Yeah.
That means you need to find something to do. That's why you're so good at handball.
6 or 6.
Well, I had 12 people in my house, and I was the only white person. And I say that lovingly.
Yeah, it sounds very loving.
6 or 6. Point. Seven serve 6.
Could be a huge shakeup, Dave, after the Houston race for 8 stop in the rankings. You've got Durman Nash potentially
6 or
losing
7.
8 points. Paul Brady potentially gaining a lot of points
Hold
if he
it,
plays.
hold it. Sorry.
But I
Alan
think
Garner
it's,
falling off the rankings for
yeah.
the first time ever if he
Yeah.
doesn't play there.
I would say that no matter what happens, Paul Brady will be #1 on the power rankings sometime
6 or
this season.
7.
Well, he will be #1 if he wins today.
Wow, that's a beautiful back wall kill shot, so smooth. Nadi Alvarado Sr. was even shaking his head after that. Watching at home in the high
7
desert.
serve 6.
I want to say hello to Nadi and his family. Big setup though. Nadi's
Point.
got this serve and shoot thing down right now, and I thought there was a 30-second timeout being called from Nadi, but he didn't call it.
Eight serve 6.
It's a 1-gamer to 25. There will be a 3-minute break after the 15th point is scored.
Nice
Point.
left from Nadi. He used his left there to keep Marcos pinned, and then he
9 serve 6.
hit a great shot right down the left wall.
Short.
Now this is the first tournament where the format has been changed for the main bracket pros. The Elite
Second
8, the round of 16 has the 15-15-15 format. And when the
Screen.
16 guys came up to me, they said, why did we change? I really like this 1-game to 25 format. And I thought to myself, isn't this ironic conversation we're having?
You got
You're the
one
same
short,
person
one
that
screen.
complained when it got changed
Second
to
serve.
25. Everybody has, you know, it takes a couple years to get used to something.
We don't give people a couple years.
It's 1 week.
Wow.
Point.
Great shot there from Nadi. Nadi just looks fitter every time I see him. Leaner and more spry. Really surprised he didn't take his race for 8 invite, Dave, particularly considering the
6.
year-end bonus payout that's available if you finish in the top
Short.
8. The higher you finish, the more cold hard cash you win.
Second serve.
And there's only 6 events, so skipping one of them, you know, makes it hard to climb up that ladder.
Cut out.
No surprises, Dave. We're seeing Paul Brady and Luis Moreno at the very top of both the power rankings and the race
Six
rate
serves
for
10.
points list. And it's Pashot solidly in 3rd now of that points list.
Cut out.
Marco Chavez looked old going back to that back left corner.
10 serve 6.
That's what 7 matches will do for you. Nadi just playing a couple matches, getting to this point, so he's much more fresh.
Over.
That hurt.
These two have had an interesting rivalry. Marcos just has never been able to beat Nadi with the exception
10
of
serve 6.
Houston, I believe.
Houston earlier this year, which was last season, but about 10 months ago, beat him in the first round. But they played one of the first ever live webcasted handball matches at the Washington Athletic Club at the WAC Classic. I believe
Second
it was
serve.
2005, where Nadi led 21-0, 13-0. Marcos comes back to win that second game. And then he takes a 10-6 lead in the tiebreaker and ends up losing 11-10, a heartbreaker. But, you know, Marcos is not unlike a lot of players. They have this thing
Cut out.
against Nadi. It's just this feeling that they can't beat him.
And watch this replay. Nadi has to flip the ball up. Marcos, this is actually a difficult shot where that ball is on the wall, and Marcos just scrapes his hand across that side wall and hits it 2 inches high with authority.
serves 10.
Outstanding shot.
That was really a good shot.
Well, that's the shot that we saw Marcos hit consistently to win the U.S. Open doubles a couple weeks ago. I mean, I had people coming up to me telling me I just couldn't believe it. He was flat rolling every
7
shot off the
serves
back
10.
wall. We haven't seen that thus far in this event,
Short.
particularly in his first round loss to Abe Montijo. Just wasn't able to convert the back wall
Second
setups
serve.
for whatever reason. And, you know, it's a big adjustment coming from California to Tucson, where there's an elevation change. These guys are struggling a little bit to get acclimated to the 2,100 feet above sea level. Also, these courts play a lot faster than they're accustomed in California.
Strange bounces, and you just have their own identity here.
Well, it's a very lively cement court. And if you're used to playing on panel, which a lot of these guys are in California, that was a terrible shot.
Point being called now, 9-10.
You know, Dave, it's like you go from your local Muni course where the greens are rolling at 7, and you go to Augusta National where they're off the charts at 15. You hit a putt that you think is going to be within 12 inches of the cup, and it's off the green because of the difference in speed.
Point.
You know, earlier we brought up Ricardo Ruiz, and you said that his wife is getting ready to birth their daughter. That's going to be this Saturday. This is a completely planned out childbirth. They said, we are going to make the baby today, and then this is the day we're actually going to have it.
He's going to start playing handball 2 weeks from the day he's born.
Yeah. She is.
She, yeah. Dave, we heard Marcos say last season after he won the senior Race for 8 Players Championship, he said, I didn't know what to expect playing in these senior events, but the guys are really good and it's very competitive, but it's more of a club type atmosphere, where guys are happy to see each other. I'm not sensing a lot of club activity going on here. This is a very intense match. Both guys want this badly. There were reports of Nadi Alvarado Jr. training at 5 a.m. on the court before he left on Friday morning, trying to get those extra reps in to be ready for this tournament. He knew who was entered. He said, this isn't just some walk in the park here. This would very well be a quarterfinal match that Nadi would have to win in the Race for 8.
Yeah, that's true.
10 serves 10.
This is a battle. Nadi remembers that the last time he played him, Chavez, he lost. I think he wants to send a couple messages.
Great
also,
shot.
Marcos is ranked #1 on the senior tour. Keep that in mind as well. Oh, nice get right there from Marcos, unable to get it to the front wall. Point for Nadi Alvarado, now 11-10.
Nadi's playing really smart right now. Seeing a lot of crisp pass shots that are not coming off the back wall. Paul Brady-esque. Dave, I would have loved to have seen Nadi, about 6 or 7 years younger, same age as Paul. I think they would have been just great rivals.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I think they were kind of crisscrossing and were rivals when that was happening.
It just didn't happen long enough because...
Well, it only happened for like 2 years, about 2005, 2006.
Right.
Kind of heading into 2007, but that was it. It was just maybe a year and a half, 2 year.
I don't even think they've played since 2006. They played in the finals of both the U.S. Open and the Nationals that year.
11.
I thought they played it 2009, but I could be wrong.
I don't think they did. But there's a big difference between 31 and 37, and then Paul Brady now being 35 and Nadi being 41-ish.
11 serves 10.
I think it's a great one-off match, but for a 41-year-old guy to face Paul in his 3rd or 4th match, tall order.
Oh, that's a terrible ceiling shot. Side out now. Marcos here at 10-11. You think a game to 25 would be a quick match, but if you're trading side outs and trading leads, you're going to find the clock ticks a little differently.
And we're seeing a lot of ceiling shot errors now.
I think Nadi found out that he's playing somebody a little harder than he thought he was going to play this morning. Marcos can play well with his 7th or 8th match of a tournament for some reason.
Actually better than he does in his first match.
2nd serve.
Marcos attributes this to playing big ball all day long. Said his body just, knows how to react. Oh, that looked like a cramp. But that's what Nadi will do to you. He'll pretzel you on those serves to the left and right. Here's that serve here.
12 serves 10.
Nadi intentionally hitting that with a huge reverse because he knows if it catches the side wall, it'll stay down.
Nadi goes behind Marcos. He's going to look up at the referee.
Over. He held up.
I don't think so. Nadi very
He
slow out of it. Marcos is right. Nadi was very slow out of the gate there, or as you call it, the block.
He could have gotten it.
Watch how slow Nadi is to get out of the block here.
He could have gotten it, Marcos.
Yeah, that's one of those tweeners. I've seen the referee call that both ways, both times. Sometimes the referee will call that a hinder. Sometimes they'll side with the other player. It's one of those 50%ers.
Well, Marcos actually came into the booth to see if we could overturn that call. I don't think it's anything. First of all, we can't, but it's certainly not a glaring over. I mean, this ball is way up. Dave, maybe our sideline reporter Tracy Davis has some thoughts. She's courtside there. Or maybe even the thoughts of some of the pros that she's sitting with courtside.
Or explain what she saw here, because from what we see from up top looking down,
12 serves 10.
It appears that it could be called either way, really. I can see where the referee's coming from. I personally, I think I would not have called it a hinder, but seeing it live,
13 serves 10.
It's strange on replay. It looks like Nadi, all he had to do is just leave his feet or try a little harder. He could have easily sold it more, I think. I mean, I blame Nadi for both things. One is that he was out of position. Secondly, he didn't really try hard enough to get there.
That was my issue, and I think that was Marcos's also, that he really didn't try that hard for it. Had he been trying all the way, I think he gets to that shot pretty easily.
A player can try for that and just grab it and say, or half pick up your hand, but make sure that you get to the ball before that second bounce.
Well, since that controversial call, or at least what Marcos thought was controversial, Nadi's reeled off 3 straight points quickly, and now he's looking to head into halftime with a 5-point lead. I'm going to circle that one, Dave, on my scorecard, because if Nadi converts that diving re-kill, he's got all the momentum going into halftime at what would have been 15-10. Now instead, Marcos in the box here, even if he doesn't catch him,
10 serves 14.
If he scores a couple of points, he's back in this one-game match.
Nice dig right there, but Alvarado skips it in. There's a point for Marco Chavez.
Nadi diving more than I've ever seen him now. And it's interesting, he's not wearing that knee brace that we've seen him wear that he uses to slide across the court. He's going more of a traditional dive than that sliding one-kneed. Trademark shot that he makes.
Equipment timeout, 2 minutes.
And now, Dave, we're not only going to have about a 3-minute timeout here to clean the court and change the gloves, but we're going to have a 3-minute timeout coming up with the halftime. That's going to be not too far away either.
So we'll just take a quick break here. We'll be back at about a minute and a half, if we can, on ESPN, the Watch ESPN app. For Dave Fink, Dave Vincent here, as we conclude this 40s plus men's finals right around the corner. Stick with us. Ends up getting the side out here. That was an unbelievable.
Ahern Rentals is the largest independently owned and operated rental business in the United States. We are proud to maintain outstanding working relationships with over 100 manufacturers, including JLG, Skyjack, Genie, Kubota, Multiquip, Honda, and many more. From coast to coast, Ahern Rentals is here to service your equipment rental needs. For a complete list of locations near you, please visit us at www.ahern.com or call 1-800-400-1610.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't, because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Back into it here.
Naughty with a slight mishit on the shot before that flat rollout in the right corner. And that's been very rare, Dave. I've seen Naughty flush just about every shot he's hit this weekend. His timing's just on point. And you know, Dave, as a handball player, there's nothing better than when you're just flushing every shot. Feel like you can really just do anything. Or let me say it in terms of you, Dave, when you're hitting it right on the thumb the way you want to, and it hits every ball.
Or as I hit it the way I always hit it.
Yeah.
Let me put it in terms that
Yeah,
you
please
know.
do. Uh-huh.
There's always kind of a conversion bracket for me when you refer to my game compared to these guys.
Although
You had to go get that table out and the matrix and all that stuff.
This is part of the humble, but now comes the brag. You did defeat Marco Chavez the last time you played him in a tournament in Denver at the Race for 8 stop there. Also defeated Matt McLaughlin in the semifinals before losing to Bear Mary in the final. So I want to congratulate you on that.
Well, that was
Senior
only
Race for 8 debut final.
Well, 7 months later, it was nice to have you finally thank me for something.
Actually, I sent you a card, handwritten,
that was
at
nice.
the time. But I know that your memory's not very good, so.
Defeating Marcos was the greatest thing I've ever done.
That was going to make it, for sure. 11 serves 14.
11 to 14 here.
And you know, Dave, I've played a lot of these one-game matches of 25, probably more than anyone, actually. And it's crucial to get that 15th point when you've got the lead, because if you don't, all of a sudden, everything you've worked for is just gone. You go into halftime feeling like...
Look how good these guys are playing, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Incredible.
This is top handball right here. Nice get from Marcos Chavez. Naughty hits the crack. Marcos hits it in a perfect spot. Naughty almost dives in, and Marcos with the fist pump. That is a good rally right there.
Amazing rally, yeah. But, you know, Dave, you're playing a traditional game to 21. You don't think anything about scoring that 15th point, but all of a sudden now you know 15 is to get to halftime, and you get a little bit of tension there.
This is part of Naughty's routine. Checks his eye guards, and he needs to check the ball.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
I mean, he just hit the ball 30 times. He's more personal with it than Marcos almost.
What a serve.
But Naughty needs to check this ball.
You know,
again.
Marcos really throws his whole body into that reverse. You see some guys just kind of using their wrist or shoulder. Marcos actually thrusts his hip through it. It gives him some extra MPHs.
Point.
And look at this run now for Marcos, Dave. Remember, Naughty missed that diving re-kill. I have it circled here on my card, as you can see. At 14 to 10, I said that could be crucial. And that ball's broken, I think.
Shut out.
Amazing return. But, you know, an inch from being 15 to 10 and cruising into halftime, all of a sudden now you're fighting just for a halftime lead. 8 minutes later at 14 all.
Short.
It's amazing, Dave, how evenly matched so many of the guys on the tour are. Now, you take maybe Brady and Moreno out of the equation.
Serve.
Every other match you see is a toss-up, literally. But from number 3 or 4 to number 20 is anybody's game. And you can't even predict it anymore.
Out.
Nadi skips that in, side out.
14 serves 14.
And there it is.
Point.
We're going to go into halftime. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Stick close
14.
as we conclude this one-game match to 25 between Marcos Chavez and Nadi Alvarado. Marcos has 15. Nadi has 14. Winner will win the 40-plus. We'll have more handball right around the corner. For Dave Fink, Dave Vincent here. Thanks for tuning in to the Watch ESPN app.
The Tucson Racket and Fitness Club is your home away from home. Work out, relax, and refuel. All this and more can be yours. Call us at 795-6960 or visit TucsonRacketClub.com. The Tucson Racket and Fitness Club, where Country Club Road ends and fitness begins.
Rethink what you know about this Vegas icon. Elevate your expectations at the Stratosphere Hotel, Casino, and Tower. See what's new, up, down, and all around.
In 1905, Thomas Beverly Pennock settled out west to start a family construction business. Over 100 years and 5 generations later, T.B. Pennock & Sons continues on today. From our world-class concrete at the San Diego airport to our recovery efforts in New York after Hurricane Sandy. We take pride in what we build, and we will never forget who we build for. We are T.B. Pennock & Sons.
Ahern Rentals is the largest independently owned and operated rental business in the United States. We are proud to maintain outstanding working relationships with over 100 manufacturers, including JLG, Skyjack, Genie, Kubota, Multiquip, Honda, and many more. From coast to coast, Ahern Rentals is here to service your equipment rental needs. For a complete list of locations near you, please visit us at www.ahern.com or call 1-800-400-1610.
We are back in Tucson, Arizona for the conclusion of this Race for 8 senior stop. Marcos Chavez leads here at halftime, 15-14. Dave Vincent alongside Dave Fink.
I don't know that I've ever seen anyone have more fun on the court than Marcos. He came in here during
14.
halftime, Dave, where he's got his locker in our broadcast booth and just having a great time. Talking about the great serves that he had to end the first half.
Let out. 14 serves 15.
Keep in mind, coming up next, Dave, is the men's finals.
Hold it.
Oh, I like that shot from Marcos, too. Nadi came in a little strong and gave Marcos a knee and an elbow at the same time and then said, "Are you all right?" And Marcos said, "Yeah, I'm fine."
14 serves 15.
We're at 14 to 15 early on. Tracy Davis is doing a little sideline reporting duty here.
Point.
She's in the gallery right now. We will break to her when we know that she's ready. And when she's ready, we'll hear from Chris Garrad, who will tell us if she's ready.
I'm ready.
Tracy,
Hi.
what's going on in the gallery?
Hi guys. I'm here with Brad Marker, visiting from Idaho, and Brad is really enjoying this match here. And I just wanted to ask you, what are you enjoying most about this match?
Well, right now, Tracy, I love the fact that I'm looking at the most beautiful professional handball player out there.
Marcos Chavez?
Marcos Chavez. No. No, I'm talking, these two guys are amazing. We're talking 40-year-old players and top 10 pro quality. I mean, holy mackerel, it's unbelievable. You know, the guys back in Boise, we all play about this level also. and I hope they're watching, but we don't have computers in Idaho yet, so I don't know if anybody's getting to see it there. But this is just unbelievable, the level of play. Your play this morning, congratulations. It's the most fun I've ever had and not got arrested.
Fantastic. So you can go back to Idaho and tell the boys up there that you were able to witness some fantastic handball here in Tucson.
Oh, definitely. Those guys, you know, we go up to Jake Plummer's tournament, a bunch of us every year, and it's just such a treat to get to see the level of play.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming down and watching this tournament and taking some time to talk with us. Back to you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tracy. Transpiring here is more great play. Marcos dives in, misses it, kind of goes around Nadi a little bit.
Brad just went Joe Namath there, Dave, on Susie Culber. That'll be his first and last ever experience on the webcast, but it was nice to hear from somebody for the only time ever.
I thought Brad did a great job of giving us his summary of this tournament. He said it was the most fun he could have without being arrested.
I like that part of it. Yeah, no, that part was good.
Meanwhile, Marco Chavez dives in. I'm not sure if the referee gave him a do-over there.
I didn't think it should have been. But that's the same shot Nadi missed at 14 to 10 that would have ended the first half. Oh, but it's really cool to have Tracy out there, Dave, in the crowd. She's one of the greatest ambassadors to this sport.
Wow, nice get right there from Marco Chavez. Nadi does the exact shot that he's supposed to do. Marco's unable to catch up to it.
That's one of the few times I've seen that overhand smash actually result in a point. Nadi played that one perfectly, just the right height, had Marcos out of position.
It's a nice shirt Marcos is wearing.
I love it. Guess mine got lost in the mail.
Well, we put it on a time capsule and sent it to Jupiter, hoping that you'd get the hint.
We are receiving 2-day deliveries there. No, not yet overnight.
I'm not talking Jupiter Island, though.
No, I know. And that serve just kind of ate Marcos up. And if you're playing Nadi, you're frustrated with yourself when you get a serve that's returnable like that one and you don't take advantage of it, because you know Nadi's going to hit his share, crack unreturnable serves. When you do get a look, you've got to find a way to put it in play. A lot of people don't know, Dave, that Marcos is struggling with a left wrist injury, which is amazing shot there. One of the worst injuries you can have as a handball player, that wrist, because so much of handball is the flick of the wrist. He said he hurt that at the U.S. Open, hasn't actually been able to play since the U.S. Open. He said it really hurts when he tries to shoot the ball with his left. So he's just kind of, he says, swiping at the ball.
Short. Second serve. Hold it.
That's a quick call from the referee. Probably the right one, but
we've had some unknowns make a splash in this first senior race for 8 stop of this senior race for 8 season.
16.
Some local guys here in Tucson, also a couple guys from Mexico who were unknowns that, you know, almost pulled off some big upsets and are in fact pulling off upsets in the playoffs.
16 serve 16.
we're all together at 16. We're going to 25. Men's finals up right after this one between Luis Moreno and Paul Brady.
We can only hope the men's finals are as good as the first 2 matches we've seen this morning. These are outstanding.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I can't remember seeing back-to-back matches this competitive and this dramatic.
I don't think people realize how hard that last shot Marcos dug out off that sidewall was. And he hit it in a perfect spot. Look at this. No, Marcos is right here.
Side out. You ran that way. You ran into.
Yeah, Marcos is right.
No.
Marcos is right.
Huh?
Naughty thought the ball went.
Get me a new headphone. This one's going into the wall.
No, I disagree with you, Dave. Here, Marcos is right here.
This ball's way up. This
Yeah,
ball's moving so slow and it's way up. But you'll see in the replay, and then I'll accept your apology.
Just because you talk the loudest doesn't mean you win the argument, Dave.
I will accept your apology when we see this.
It was up, but you were going the wrong way.
No, I'm nice. I will.
You hear what the referee just said? The ball was up, but you were going the wrong way.
Okay, let's see it.
It doesn't help that it's a 40-shot rally. That right there is one of the best shots I've seen in the tournament of Marcos flipping that ball back.
We're going to roll this all the way through. That's good.
Interrupting also doesn't win an argument.
16 serve 16.
It's all right. Here's that inside out.
Skip.
Naughty run. The ball's over here where Naughty's standing, and he runs and hits Marcos and wants a hinder on that.
But the ball was moving so slow. He did run the wrong way, but he still had time to recover and play that. If the ball was hit with more pace, then it was already by him, but I don't think it was.
That's what I'm going to do when I'm playing. I'm going to run into everybody all the time when I don't.
Don't you already?
That's true. I don't play anymore, so.
18 serve 16.
This is getting really entertaining for all the right and wrong reasons. Uh-oh.
Ball broke?
No.
Naughty.
Yeah, this is good. I'm the man, he said. This is good. This is entertaining now for all the right reasons. And then Marcos is nice enough to open the door for him, though. It's a gentleman's sport. What happened there? Recap the you're the man, I'm the man, I'm going to be the man.
I haven't heard this much man talk since you and John Bike in Detroit Athletic Club, 2008.
Don't remember
I was
that.
the man.
See, he wants to be a gentleman, doesn't want to rub him on the way by.
Right.
Not sure what's going on in the court there. With
Marcos has now scored 9 of the last 11 points, and Naughty, I think, is asking Marcos to say that there was contact in the middle of that last
Well, let's
rally.
just ask Marcos Chavez, who's here. Marcos, he's in the broadcast booth with
30
us.
seconds.
What happened there? You have 30 seconds, by the way. Let's turn this microphone up.
I take a shot, and he runs into me in my swing. Kind of unavoidable. I didn't call that. I'm just telling the ref, hey, he's too close.
Okay, that's it. And then he says, Marcos says as a parting shot that Naughty walks out and says that you're a whiner. Marcos is entertaining. There's no doubt about that.
Well, these two are definitely combustible personalities, Dave.
But
And I
this is the
think it
first
was
time
only a matter of time before the jarring started.
I like what Marcos said to Naughty there right toward the end. He said, all right, fine, I'm going to beat you then. So
he said, don't be mad because I'm beating you.
I'm talking about after that.
Oh. I don't know that Marcos is the guy you want to talk trash with.
16.
Pretty sharp.
That left wrist that hurts from Marcos.
That was a message.
Not going to hurt anymore.
16 serves 19. out.
And Dave, since that argument, both guys have served, and the returns were both flat kills.
19 serve 16. Short. Second serve.
I'm not sure this is Nadi's favorite referee anymore. Oh, I like that little paddle shot. Nadi did try to create contact again, but didn't get it called from the referee. Marcos walked away from the contact to try to further distance himself. I know if you were reffing, you would have called that a screen. But
wow.
Both of these guys having to play a little defense there.
Point.
Great shot there from Marcos, and Nadi just not happy right now. Nothing is going his way right now. He just can't seem to put points on the board. Remember, Dave, he led 14-10. Just an inch away from 15-10.
16.
Since then, it's been all Marcos. Oh, what a serve.
Point.
Marcos now with more crack serve aces than Nadi. You wouldn't have thought that going into this match, Dave.
That's true, wouldn't have.
22 serve 16. Point.
And this is what Marcos does. When he gets on fire, now he's, Dave, fist pump lawnmowering it. Or is that how you start the lawnmower? Wouldn't know. I was never allowed to use one.
Timeout. 1 minute. Scores 23 serve 16.
You heard that score there. 23-16, and you can tell that playing that aw shucks type style of game that Marcos and Nadi were playing there all of a sudden became a, I'm going to try to show you who's the best 40-year-old in Southern California here and in the world, for that matter.
Well, you know, they say if you can make it in California, you can make it anywhere. Or is that New York?
Well, we're a long way from there. Certainly. Let's look at some replays
Look
here.
at the fist pump, though, and watch how long he holds it and then the pump.
It was like Kurt Gibson after hitting a home run there.
Yeah.
That was starting the lawnmower. I'd like to see that one more time if we can. I know we have it queued up. Take a look at this replay. After Marcos hits this shot here, watch what Marcos does with the fist. There it is. I'm holding it and give it to you.
If only Nadi had seen that. I think it's one of those things Nadi did see, but he won't admit to ever seeing it.
Nadi can see out of the back of his head. So
okay. So he saw that then. That makes me pretty happy. He did see it. Dave, what can Nadi do at this point? Whatever he's doing is not working.
23 serve 16.
I hit every ball to Marcos's left. Because Marcos isn't winning this on left-handed kill shots. He's turning around and hitting everything with his with his right hand. And you have to convert those as well. Now serving to take the match.
Match point, serve 16. Over. Over. He didn't walk into the shot. He was jumping out of the way. He was jumping that way out of the way.
Let's take a look at this here.
He thought it was down. He thought it was down. He thought he killed it.
That should be an avoidable, actually. You can't do another one of your fist pumps and then jump over the ball and then slap the wall because you're mad at yourself for having an early celebration. Marcos really thought that he won that. Dave, you're going to go give the award presentation here on this next point.
But I don't want to miss this, though.
You were reaching for it. How is that?
This is actually an avoidable, Dave. Look what Marcos does. He thinks he wins.
That's good.
This is one of the best.
No, we can't replay those.
This is one of the best ones I've ever seen in my life. Now, I would call that an avoidable.
You'd be in the elevator right now, so what does it matter?
Well, he didn't call it a win, but Dave, would you call that an avoidable or not?
Match point.
I say it is.
Yeah, it is.
Can't do that. You can't do that celebration thing.
And here, this could be it.
And there it is. He does it. Now he does it again. Another one of those fist pumps from Marcos Chavez, taking down Nadi Alvarado 25-16 and closing out the men's senior championship here, and we will have an award presentation on the floor with David Fink. Marcos does it again. He fist pumps on the previous shot when the ball was still in play. Referee doesn't call an avoidable hinder. He fist pumps. Naughty wouldn't have got it anyway. And then Marco Chavez comes in and gets another one of those fist shots, and we're going to have him in the booth here quickly. And then Dave Fink's going to take Marcos back out of the court and give an award presentation. Marcos, you haven't been like this before, really emotional.
It's been since the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
No, but
2 weeks ago.
You know, Naughty's #1 seed. I don't know why. The seating committee, I don't know why they did that. I won last year's Race for 8 Senior Tour. I figured I should be there. And all didn't really matter because I had to win. And it's what I came to do. And, you know, Naughty's a great player. He could have rolled easily 16 to 24 if he wanted to. But, you know, I got lucky. He didn't have his serves today, and it could have been a lack of just not having the toughest matches going into it.
Yeah. Yeah, seating committee under fire this weekend for a couple things that went on. Your thing, not being #1, certainly must have been, hey, I deserve this. I finally got to be #1 on the tour, and I don't get the #1 seed, which is very odd to do. As we are live here in the booth, and we're going to do the award presentation now with Dave Fink and yours truly. So we'll go back to the court here. We'll break away now and let you leave the court, and we'll talk to you with an interview with Dave Fink. So we'll get more in depth with Marco Chavez as he takes down Naughty Alvarado here on this show court in Tucson, Arizona in the men's 40+. And we'll find out a little bit about that emotion that went on as well there with the fist pumping, something we haven't really seen on a singles court. Let's now go over to Dave Fink, who is courtside with Marco Chavez, and get that interpretation from Dave. Let's go to him now since he's waiting with Marco Chavez here in Tucson, Arizona at the TRC. With that award presentation, I guess Dave is now waiting for Naughty Alvarado. Of course, as soon as Naughty steps onto the court, I don't know if Naughty wants to get back onto the court here. We'll also have Dave step back toward the short line a little bit more as we are now coordinating the players. Naughty Alvarado is going to go with Dave Fink back toward the short line for the award presentation. Let's do that now. Let's go to Dave Fink.
Thank you. I'm here with our senior race for 8 finalists. Just an incredible match. Certainly one of the most exciting and dramatic and emotional matches that we've seen in senior race for 8 history. We're fortunate to have the two best 40 and over players in the world, 2 of the top 10 players in the world. Naughty Alvarado, you had a nice lead there, 14-10. You missed a shot, a diving re-kill that would have taken you to 15-10 at halftime. It just seemed to all change from there. What was the difference from there?
You know, he played a lot better from 15 and on. I had some shots, but I was really never pushing him like I'm used to. So he started to get a little tight. He made some great shots, great rallies, some great retrieves. By far, probably the best 40 match I've played. So it was a treat. It was fun.
Well, Naughty, thank you very much for playing. I know we're going to see a lot more of you this season, probably both on the Race for 8 and Senior Race for 8 Tour. I've got my hands full here, but I want to present you with this medal.
Okay. Thank you.
Congratulations. Marcos, Naughty's been a rival and kind of a nemesis of yours throughout your entire career. You beat him for the first time earlier this year in Houston. Now you beat him again. Both of you guys look like you were pretty much on top of your game. We asked Naughty, he's up 14-10. You were in the game, but it seemed like Naughty was kind of pulling away. Everything changed. Did you start playing more aggressively? Did you just start to feel it a little bit more? What was the difference there?
I knew I couldn't let him get away too far. I just started pushing, trying to keep the ball in play, hoping that his serves weren't going to be as effective as they were the first, maybe 6 points. I mean, he's beaten me 100 times. I've beaten him maybe twice. And, he's a champion, and I have much respect for him on and off the court. It's just, it's a pleasure playing him, and, it's not easy.
Well, Marcos, it wasn't easy, but this is going to feel really good. I want to present you with, it's heavy. I'd like to get 2 hands on it. That's the Senior Race for 8 Crystal that every Senior Race for 8 champion will win this season, as well as the Race for 8 and Women's Race for 8 players. So you'll also win this medal. So, Marcos, I want to congratulate you on an amazing event. I know that didn't do quite as well in the Race for 8, but You won the senior race for 8. You maintained your #1 ranking. And we're going to look forward to seeing a lot more of you this season. And hopefully a couple more matchups between the two of you, because it's just great theater. So Dave, for Nadia Alvarado, Marcos Chavez, the rest of our broadcast team, back to you.
Thank you very much. Marcos Chavez defeats Nadia Alvarado here in the senior finals, and we are now going to take a break and get ready for the big one, the Elite 8 finals. Paul Brady and Luis Moreno right here in Tucson, Arizona, the battle in the desert. More action, more handball here coming up on the Race for 8 on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.